and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Outside Freak Show. I'm Z, and that's my co-host. It's not just my co-host, it's the co-host, Chad Ventures. Now, I have to figure out why there's... Oh, there we go. Now, I finally see myself in the monitors. Yeah, that's right. I got monitors. We're going big time, man. You know, we both have music studios. We both have tans, and we both have music studios.
I don't know if you can see it, but my tan line is pretty much at my wrist from all the outside long sleeve.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah. But Frank Zappa had an album called Studio Tan or something like that. Which So how's it going, Chad Ventures, out there in the Gunnison, Colorado region?
It's going pretty good, man. Yeah, it's been going pretty good. Having a lot of stuff to do, and every now and then, as mentioned, I believe in your Patreon, your most recent Patreon journal, sometimes you feel like you want to be productive the whole day, and then you only get like 3 hours of productivity or 2 hours of it or something like that, and then when you got to go to work, and it just absorbs all of it. Yeah. It just sucks it all up, man. And then you get home, and then like there's things you want to do, but your productivity, that it's gone.
Yeah, it's just a fact of life, man. If it weren't so, then everybody would be successful, whatever's,
Yeah.
But they can't be because they don't have the energy, because they gotta do X, Y, and Z just to get by, So it's one of those great challenges. And then once you get old enough, you've got plenty of time. But relatively plenty of time. There's like this. It's really a window of time that, all right, well, can you get her done now?
Yeah.
So it isn't easy, man. There are no real solutions, are there? I mean, some people are lucky, and they're lucky in business, and um, it seems like the propensity of people that make it have a very good balance of luck and just perseverance in whatever it is, life, business, love.
Yeah.
But I think, I've been finally able to get to the chapters and put my nose to the grindstone and creating chapters for a lot of this long form stuff, because a lot of the stuff that we do it because there's gold. I put a quote in, I think, one of the posts, as there's gold in them there timestamps,
Yeah.
And we do this because, but the thing is I just got done doing chapters for a video that we did that was 3 hours. Timestamps. And you know how much stuff we talk about and how we fly around. So there's really just 3 hours of trying to get trying to get it all down on the timestamp. And this last one, it was goofy as all hell. I ran out of text characters to do the timestamp in the description. So, but it was a good one, and so I've always felt that, and the reason why I pull a lot of the content that we do, I've pulled it because I wanted to bring in the reins somehow. You start putting stuff out, you don't know. We don't have a producer. We don't know if we said some really stupid shit, you know. And especially the more you talk, the more you're prone to say some stupid shit. So I kind of don't like having all that stuff out there without, like just checking it, making sure it's not too off base, and so the way to do that is through chapters, which is cool because that's what YouTube likes too, right? And it's tedious, but at the same time, it also makes you listen to yourself and listen to your ideas and listen to your thoughts, and sort of say, "Hey, man, are you really taking? Is this really worthy of taking up people's time with? Taking up your time with?" And the answer lies in, well, it depends. If you have chapters, because if you have chapters, then you go, okay, yeah, I don't really want. I've heard too much about that. I don't want to hear about AI anymore. No, I don't want to hear about weightlifting. Yeah, I want to hear about some. So I really dig chapters. I think chapters with long form is the way to go. I think anybody putting stuff out should be forced by law to provide chapters. Those chapters got to correspond with what's actually said. And AI can check that, by the way, now, you know? you, you look frozen, but you're not. You're not fooling me.
I'm known to be able to stay incredibly still that I look frozen in a video.
So yeah, but there, I think any conversation that goes on for 3 hours has got to have at least about a couple minutes worth of like interesting information.
Did it?
Yeah,
it did, right? Did it?
I think I think it did. I think it paid. It delivered. It delivered in the philosophical kind of sense. We were going on about, or I was going on. You were being kind. You were being kind to the old man. Yeah, I know what you're doing. You're finding a screenshot that you just post up, and then you just walk away and pretend you're frozen. Go make a ham sandwich or something. Some miso soup.
I actually have some miso soup ingredients.
But we were talking about oh shit, what were we talking about? Yeah, we were talking about the desperation for agency and how people will accept false agency to get away from doing the work of actually attaining
That's right. That's
true
right.
agency in life.
Uh,
Yeah. That was sort of the so that was an interesting premise.
yeah, it is a really interesting premise.
Yeah. How money is no longer really, or maybe it never was, the impetus, but just the feeling of agency. And so the
Yeah.
jobs in general are really our main form of having some sort of agency. I mean, think of it, man. When people lose their jobs, they lose their minds. You know,
Yeah, I never understood that. How like
hey, in the
losing it.
1930s, or when the Great Depression hit, when Wall Street went bankrupt or whatever. I think I have the times right there. People were throwing themselves out of buildings.
That's wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I had an
Nowadays,
interesting.
people get fired first, so that way they can collect unemployment.
I had an interesting thought that I'll put out there and see what you think about this. But the thought that God is more of a language than a belief. In the same way that words are more of an agreement than an actual definition. Long one. And boy, did we go just deep. We deep throated the philosophical rabbit hole on this. God is more of a language than it is a belief. Because people don't really believe in these things. They say they do, but they just patently don't.
Yeah.
Um, but it's a language. Sort of, it's a wink, wink, nudge, nudge kind of a language.
Yeah.
And very much but not to be discounted, because language is very much the same thing. Language isn't real. Language doesn't really describe anything. It's just what we all agree to call the thing.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we go into the conversation of Richard Feynman and description of things.
Yeah.
Sarah, I reiterated, or at least said it twice, to give you a chance to think on that one. Now, to finish my coffee. I'm drinking way too late. Way too late to be drinking coffee.
Yeah, I might have to drink coffee because after this stream, hopefully I can finish it tonight. But
I know there's going to be like a 7-hour stream we're probably going to do.
no, I can't do 7 hours today.
Oh, now I know. Now I know you're tired because you're not catching the jokes, man.
Dude,
You're supposed to play along with that and go, "Oh, really? I thought it was 8 hours." All right, man.
7. All right, I can't. No, not today. Not today. Maybe tomorrow.
Listen, man. Let me tell you. Let me give you some advice, because this will help out later on in life when you go on a date or something. And that is, just say you'll do 7-8 hours. That's all. Just say you'll do 7 or 8 hours. You don't have to do the full 7 or 8 hours. Everybody knows we're lucky to even get 3 hours.
All right, that's what I'll say on the next one. That's the color.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the language is like a form of jargon, it's like they all got their phrases and words and trigger words, all the little yeah, it is a language, huh? Just like how mathematics is a language and music.
Well, mathematics is peculiar because with us humans, it was something that spread universally amongst humans, and whereas language is different for humans around the world, mathematics has pretty much been an agreement, like a universal human agreement, almost like science and math. That's
Right. Yeah. The universal language. Yeah, there we
well, yeah, you get into that whole argument with math. Was math invented or discovered, or was math
hmm
part invention and part discovery? I think it's just simply a method of communicating those objective discoveries,
Yeah.
and a language wouldn't work. I'm sure they tried to use languages before the numbers became dominant, you know, and I'm sure there were various number systems too, right? That it took a while, you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
The abacus calculator.
yeah, all the way up to the Asian.
Yeah.
And I can't help it if I'm a math genius.
I'm definitely not a math genius. That's for sure. I might be a
Bro, how many times am I going to have to tell you? Say you'll do 7 or 8 hours. Yeah. But, so I did the uh, in order to get my 4 tracks out of here, I had to buy the cordage because I sold the cordage, right? I
right.
mistakenly sold all my cordage, or maybe even gave it away. Anyway, so I had to go and buy some cordage. So as I'm waiting for the cordage to come in, my brain starts overthinking everything and says, oh, I'm not going to be able to get 4 inputs. Where's my 4 inputs? Duh. My dang this dang thing. Oh, I can't pull that out. Anyway, yeah, the ardent. Oh, yes, I can. I'm going to show that. There it is. I can't do with that. That's only got 2 inputs, and the
Oh.
Scarlet only has 2 inputs. I'm like, how am I going to do it? And no, I can't chain them together, so that's not going to work. I'm like, and I'm just overthinking this like an insane person, and finally, like, I got to get another audio interface. This is just insane. I, I don't want to buy another audio interface. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, audio interfaces. No, no. I feel like the guy with the big thick glasses in The Office, in that movie, The Office. His name is Norman. He's like, it's my stapler. It's my stapler. I'm like, no, I don't want to buy another audio interface. I just don't want to do that. That's crazy. That's crazy. And I'm thinking, well, there's no way I'm not going to get around it. What are you going to do? Okay, what are you going to do? You're going to just live indoors then. You're living indoors now for no damn reason. Like, this is why you're here, is to do this. I mean, yeah, you got to take care of some stuff, as anyone would if you're living indoors. You take care of the other stuff as well. But there's got to be a main reason why you're doing it. It's so for all this gear has just found a home. It's found a home. All this freaking gear has found a home, and it must be utilized, or damn, my blood shall be upon me, as the Bible says. So I'm thinking, how am I going to get 4 inputs? How am I going to get 4 inputs from the outputs of this? Because they're not syncing. Analog does not sync with digital. If you rather dump it all at once, you're not dumping tracks of analog and then syncing it. It's nearly impossible. It takes hours. I did it. It takes hours. Stupid. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, la 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 la. I go, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have to. So I go and I look this up. $400 for a 4 input, like $100 per input. I'm like, oh no. So I'm looking up. I'm like, okay, I think maybe I even chat GPT'd it or something. I'm like, come on, man, what's a nice 4 input audio interface? Behringer came up. And I'm like, well, is it any good? Is it like, oh, it's fine, especially for what I'm using it for. So I pick it up for like, I don't know, 130, $40, something like that. It's not bad. I can't be spending that, but right. So I get it and I test it out. It works fine. Works great. In fact, I'm like really going cuckoo because I'm like, hold on for a second. I've been buying all these interfaces, and this $130 Behringer unit is just fine. I'm like, what the? Like, are you kidding me? Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have strong preamps, but you don't want that, because if you have strong preamps, then it imparts noise. Yeah, it imparts sound to whatever you're trying to do, which is good if you're like doing audio, vocal or guitar right into there, because you want to you want to create a nice sound. But if you've already created the nice sound, you don't want to add more nice sound, so to speak, right? And you just want to do a direct transfer, right? Anyway, so I buy the thing, it works. But as I get the thing, I'm like, why are you so stupid? I have a 32 track digital unit right here. It's right here. Yeah. Tascam 32 track digital unit, spits out CDs, has every output you can imagine on the back. You can do 4 inputs direct, and you can do 8 inputs direct and 8 inputs out. It's it has everything you can imagine. It preamps everything, no preamps, equalization, everything you can imagine. You don't need anything. I didn't need that. Didn't need it. I'm like, what the hell, man? And I honestly, we understand, the economic climate for which each of us are in. So that, even $150 is a big deal right now. $100, bigger deal. That's twice of a big deal. you know, I'm like, oh my god! But I can't not do this. That's the thing. This is everything. This is like last chance, bucko. Get her done, do it, because you literally are going to be buried soon. I mean, If they buried me at the end of all the boxes I need to go through, I'm probably going. I'll outlive you. So yeah, wow. So anyway, when you're ready,
Wait.
don't buy an audio interface until you talk to me, okay?
Okay.
So when you're ready, because there's no sense in having it if you're not going to use it. But once you're ready to use it, you want to use it. You're ready to start plugging your guitar in directly into GarageBand and shit like that. Then yeah, let me know, and I'll probably just send you the Scarlet. You know, so so someone can benefit from my error.
I think I'm ready for it. I don't see why I'm not ready for it. I just lack it.
Right. How are you doing on microphones? What kind of mics do you have?
I have. It's not really the greatest microphone. It's a Shure TM58.
Like an SM58 style,
Yeah. Yeah.
but just not. Yeah.
Has
Do you have the same damn mic that I have? No, no, no. I think mine is a Tascam or something. Actually, it has an on-off switch on it.
No, mine doesn't have an on-off switch.
Oh, it's not that horrible. Oh, it doesn't look too bad. Yeah, that looks like an SM58 for sure.
Yeah.
It's like maybe it's an upgrade from. How much did it cost?
Ooh, I don't remember. I think it was like between 40 and 50 or something like that.
Oh, okay. So it's probably a budget line of the SM58.
Yeah.
Speaking of Behringer, Behringer apparently makes a mic that rivals the SM58 and SM57s, and it's only like $20. But
What?
but I also have one of these. I don't know if you saw see this thing here. One of these. So what I'm saying is maybe we can send both of those out to you, and see, that will allow us to plug our instruments in and then do music online. We're still going to have the issue of plugging in and you know what I'm saying, streaming and plugging in. They want you to pay for that, but even if we paid for it right now, we couldn't do it because you know. And at the very least, I can create, and like you've seen my music streams, how I'm doing. I create the music that you can jam to. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I send you these things, and then you can also start doing some jam tracks. You got a looper and all that. You can start doing jam tracks. You don't even have to use a looper. You just jam, but just
There's
record.
something weird with looper. My looper, like, I have the Ditto 2, right? And when I plug it into that there mixer, and I say I just play the G string and then I loop the G string, it comes in like 2.5 times as loud for some reason. Once I hit the loop, don't know why. But then when I plug it into my little Boss Katana Air over there, it maintains the same level of sound.
Oh so wow, that's bizarre.
Yeah, so I'm kind of tripping on my Ditto 2 right now.
Yeah, can you go into it at all? Does it have a USB port to go into?
Actually, I haven't tried yet. It has a USB. as this input right
Yeah,
here.
there you go. So I'm pretty sure because Dittos are pretty top brand. I mean, as far as I know, I've never owned one, but I would plug it in and plug it into your computer and
Yeah.
see if you need to one update drivers or two if there's a controller that allows you to switch functions on it.
Mm. Okay.
It has a volume knob on it, yes or no?
It does.
Because a lot of times when you lay a loop, you gotta kind of then turn it down before you start laying over. But
Yeah, I know. I've fiddled with it, and I even turned I turned the volume of the looper pedal all the way down, and then I hit loop, and it still came in like twice as loud.
God.
I was like, "Why? What is going on?"
Yeah,
Like,
that's weird.
I
That's
be
weird.
giving me sound.
Yeah, that's
So
weird.
yeah, no,
But yeah, here's the thing, right?
but plug it in.
I send you this audio interface and the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Now you just plug the mic and the guitar straight into your interface. You open up GarageBand. Now you have any looping capabilities you could ever want. You've got all GarageBand at your
Yeah.
disposal now. All the amps that you want are going to be right there. All the and you've also downloaded a lot of virtual stuff. Well, at least some virtual instruments and stuff. So
Oh
you can actually access those virtual instruments through GarageBand as well.
yeah, the fretless sax. I love that
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Sounds so.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, cool, man. Well, hey, as long as you promise to lay down the grooves, baby, yeah, man, I'll send this stuff out to
I'll
you.
do my best. It's ever since I've learned more music from you and stuff like that, and how to listen, and just the way that we were jamming last summer and stuff, and before that too. Um, it's really apparent when I've jammed with some of the people around here in Gunnison that have been coming out to this open mic, open jam thing that I host. And yeah, wow. Yeah, what a what a difference in my perspective in music nowadays, And then to listen and hear other people in the jam session and kind of know where they're at too
Yeah.
is a real interesting feeling playing the music now. It's just because yeah, I guess it's a new thing around here for people to jam music with other people that they've never played music with before. Like some people, like there's a couple of them, especially the percussionist who's like really listens to the music, you know, tries to sustain it, and then there's like other people that I've jammed with here that are kind of just they're not listening to the music, they're just doing their own thing over the music, and
Yeah, I call it masturbation.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, and we've definitely talked about this many times, but
Yeah, in
I,
in
know,
description, you've been very descriptive on that. Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah. What's
true,
interesting about
true.
music is that it is a language that is much more. Well, this kind of goes to back to the more intellectual part of our discussion here, which is really music was the first language. It came before the spoken language. It came before the written language, and it has it's all but been washed from our washed from our you know I don't know I don't know the words I'm trying to use here, but yeah, it's not something that people have to do anymore. That's essentially what I'm trying to say. You don't have to do music. In fact, if you want to live a better life, don't take music too serious.
Yeah, don't start at all, man. Don't start a band either. Just
Yeah. So, music isn't that anymore. Just like we don't need to be afraid of you know the tiger behind the rock kind of a thing. But we still have that some remnants left behind. Yeah. But I think here's the thing: people like to pretend, maybe fake it till they make it. Maybe they're lying. Maybe they're lying to themselves. Maybe they just truly thinks it is so. But it's rather you're a musician or you're not. you know, because a musician is just something that you do. Like, oh, all of a sudden you woke up on an island. You're the only thing on there. You and a bongo. Guess what you're gonna do? Start playing the bongo, or all it was is you know what I'm saying?
a
It's
one
rather
string.
you are or you're not, and I think it's because you still strongly connect to music being that first language, and
Mhm.
then also I don't know about you. No, you're probably not afflicted with this disgusting issue. But I get really snobbish when people start playing music, on a radio or something on a CD. They're claiming the music that they like, which is some pop advertising music, just trash.
Yeah.
Right? And they really, it's like,
Yeah.
it's like a football team or something. It's like, no, man, that's my
Yeah.
music. Are you kidding
Yeah.
me? I'm like, if that is
Fine.
disgusting, I think you're a lesser person
Just their
now.
agency.
So, yeah, heavy, heavy, heavy. Well, here's the thing,
I don't like it.
because people don't have an appreciation for a musician,
Mhm.
you know? And so, here's a great example. Spotify. I can't tell you how many people tell me, "Oh, have you heard this on Spotify?" And oh yeah, I love my Spotify playlist and all the Spotify buttons drives me nuts. Spotify ripped me off. They took my Integrity Radio show. They paid me. They paid me once for it, and then they made it all. Yeah. Every apparently every episode I did, which is 5 freaking years of episodes, were all a violation of their whatever. So they erased. After paying me for them, they then erased every single one.
Wow.
And of course, they don't have to pay me anymore now, do they?
Yeah.
So that was nasty. I mean, they could have at least gone, "Hey, listen, we're not going to post your stuff anymore, but do you want to go ahead and download it and save it?"
Yeah.
That's all they could have done. That's a very simple flip of the switch, one message out to everybody, kind of a thing
At
to
least
do.
ask.
Uh,
Jeez.
So, or even just say, "Hey, this is what's going to happen on this date," and then I could just you could leave us all to tediously try to upload all of our episodes, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm now trying to find episodes that were just sort of you know lost and found on hard drives here and there. I'm trying to find them now because I'm reinvigorating Integrity Radio show. It is not going down. But anyway, people talk about this and they're talking about their love for music and musicians. and I just, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The Spotify is ripping artists off worse than artists have ever been ripped off before en masse. I refuse to even look at the platform at this point. Will not touch the platform. It's just insidious. So YouTube remains king. I don't know for how long, but at the very least, Lizzie, you can put your stuff up. And if people like it, you can put a link for people to, to to help you out or whatever, buy you a coffee or whatever. But who knows for how long that will continue to exist. But boy, oh boy, that's dirty. And so and then people start talking about music and whatnot. I just want to ask, how many sharps in the key of C? It's just like when people try to start getting intellectual with me. I'm like, really? What's 8 times 72? It's like,
oh, I don't like
see, because you're talking up here, and you need to be talking all the way down here.
At that jam, at the little jam session I had at the one of the dudes' houses, it was a very low key jam session, and one of the guys was telling this chick, the horn player, like, and rightly so, the criticism was like on point, but at the same time she was just practicing. It was her first time jamming with anybody ever, and here they got a bass guitar, the piano, and a cajon, and then a horn, and he was telling her like how to like listen and play the music and stuff like that, and he's a cajon player. And then he swapped instruments and jumped on guitar, and he just like did not really know how to play guitar. Maybe just kind of had the muscle memory of like a song that he learned from tabs, like who knows how long ago. And
Kumbaya.
He's like, yeah. So he's like, he's playing an E on, playing an E D string, and he's like, and this note, what's this note? Do you know what this note is? What's this? And I'm on the bass, and I'm like, I'm just playing the note like everywhere on the neck, like what that note is. Ba-ding, 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 ba-ding. I was trying to tell him that it was an E without telling him that it was an. I mean, you should know. And then I don't know. It just seemed like his criticism was like okay, but at the same time, like I think he needed it for himself too.
Right.
Of what he criticized someone else. A lot of that, what you say about someone else says a lot about you too, kind of deal. And
musicians are the worst, man. I don't know how anybody could get together these days as musicians, because just musicians have always sucked. And now, and people in general suck way more than they used to. I don't know how the hell they could get together and do anything, But they still, that's what, like, you're doing quite a service, community service out there, doing an open mic, bro. Because I mean, it literally is. I mean, I did a lot of those when I first moved to Hawaii in order to get exposure. Did open mics, right? But I did it just to get exposure and free coffee and meals and stuff, tips, which of course, but the reality is it's more of a community service than anything, man, to do that, because somebody has to know what music is in order to kind of start vetting people, and somebody the being
Yeah.
able to organize that is more than just creating time slots. You
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
there's
It's really cool how much it's grown and how many musicians have now come up and started to play. And like I've realized that I've become sort of like a figure in that
yeah,
sense.
and
Um,
being able to accompany people on various instruments helps a lot too, right?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been, yeah, it definitely has been a form of service for sure. And in turn, like I also get to learn a lot also, playing
Oh,
music behind people and stuff. And,
yeah.
one of the things that Zen guitar book that you gave me, one of the things it said was, I forget who quoted it, who said it, but it's like, yeah, play music with people, play music with a lot of people. All any chance you get, just play music with people, even if they're not like as good, you're better, they're better, you're not as good, it doesn't matter. Like you're gonna learn something from that communication. And I do. I really do. Like I find myself playing, simpler phrases sometimes, and then just waiting for that one slot to do something like something semi fancy but not too seriously complicated, and anyways, yeah, yeah. It's it's a good learning experience, good community thing that's been going around here. So I keep it up. I have fun.
Cool.
So
Very cool.
until people karaoke, when people start singing karaoke, then it's either hit or miss, and I'm just like, all right, like I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell, man. See, karaoke, it shows you how powerful music and people being able to express themselves how powerful that is, because you can even get a stupid ass karaoke machine and throw it in front of a bunch of drunk people, and they're gonna, be happy as pigs and shit,
Yeah,
So,
you don't have
but that is
you don't have
not what I'm talking
yeah
about. That's like a very McDonald's low class version of what we're
yeah.
talking about here.
Luckily, the thing that I host is now coming about to be more seen, at jam amongst all the people that up and played and stuff like that. Every now and then we have a couple people that karaoke, but it's not too bad. I'm almost thinking maybe I should sing a karaoke song, and why
Hey,
not?
I mean,
Classic
I don't
Gerald.
mean to diss karaoke. I'm just saying that I've never quite dug it. I don't think it's anywhere as fun. But you know what? I bet you a lot of people prefer karaoke because it's more. I think karaoke is more inclusive.
Yeah,
You
yeah, it
know,
is. Once people start playing, what was that song by the Nine Inch Nails?
yeah. I'd
Uh,
rather die than
I
give you
said, hey,
control.
what's going on? Yeah, yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Hey, I said, hey, what's going on? Everybody sing that song in the whole coffee shop. If that
Oh
song
boy!
plays, yeah,
Wow. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, old
but
time
anyway,
musicians are on their way out.
yeah. Anyways, I mean, other than that, though, yeah, man, just playing music with a lot of other people. A lot. I find myself filling in on the bass a lot more often these days. I've been having a lot of fun on the bass, and yeah, even at the jam session, I was on bass. Actually, it's like I'm transitioning to a bass player.
I think the bass is the key to open mic success because
Yeah.
if you come there as a drummer, well, I don't know. I don't know. Do you have like a cajon or something? We don't really
Mhm.
want like drums kind of thing. You know, then if you come in as a guitar, like, okay, what songs you want to sing?
Yeah.
What song you need to, you know. But if you're a bass player, everybody wants to be, like, hey, can you back me up on this song? Everybody wants a bass player. And once you show that you can play the bass and back somebody up and whatnot, then everybody, they just expect you. I literally, they expect
Yeah,
you to
yeah,
stay there. Oh no, no, just stay there. It's like, what are you talking
yeah.
about? I want
That's
to,
yeah.
I
That's
want to
what
go
happened.
and no, no, stay there. I'm like, I don't even know
I
you. What are you gonna do? What are you playing?
yeah,
Like you're the house bass machine or something.
yeah,
But
yeah.
bass is awesome because the bass then brings the rhythm and brings the low end and really helps along there. And also bass, if you don't, if it's just basic 1-4-5 or just basic stuff, then
Hmm.
as long as you don't screw up, the guitar player can screw up. He'll
Yeah,
just jump back onto the bass and you go, oh, yeah.
yeah. I'm
No,
getting.
bass is a great instrument. I have been wondering when I'm gonna go start doing these open mics and stuff, but as you know, last time you were out here, I have a great dilemma as to what I should play any one instrument.
Right. Yeah.
Huge dilemma. Still is a dilemma
Yeah.
and I think I unveiled it in one of maybe a recent stream, the past stream I just did. I think I realized what it is that I'm not an instrumentalist as much as I might come off as an instrumentalist. I'm not.
Hmm.
I'm a songwriter. I just learn how to do the stuff on the instruments so I can write the songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not an instrumentalist. So if I just take one instrument and then I'm supposed to function in a real situation, well, the only instrument that is well, drums at one, and then bass. But then bass is more. If you're bringing a bass in, that's because you want the job. Yeah, yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I would love to be good enough on guitar to play live and accompany people live. I could, but at the same time, it's a big effort, and so I'd rather put my guitar playing efforts towards doing what I want to do, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So I mean, the only thing I guess what I'm saying is like if I were drumming or in bass playing, I could do those effortlessly. But
Hmm.
now it's just a job. You know, you're not getting paid.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's
Yeah.
hard. The setup I got going now, I got to share this with you, man, because it's pretty insane. I don't think I've even ever been technically capable upstairs of setting things up the way I have them now. But But that's a 2-track. This is a DAT machine. This is a 32-track. This is the 4-track audio interface. This is a 4-track cassette, and back there is a 4-track digital machine. I've got the Volca keys. I've got another one of these that connects to this effect. The SP this is the drums, right? And the drums,
Hmm.
the 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 iPad and all this, which connects through the audio interfaces. Behind me here, I have the bass amp and the head and the guitar amp and a head or two. Now, the way all that is hooked up is what's amazing. Well, I got to, tomorrow I pick up the chords, the, the chords. I pick the chords up tomorrow, but it's all ready to go. Already going. So how this all works. Oh, and then there's the PA, right? Because then I've got the PA here. There's the PA.
Yeah.
Okay. So how all this works is everything is hooked up to the 32 track. So I could play everything all at once. I could play the cassette player, the DAT player. I could affect the cassette because this has all the effects in it. Delay, reverb, compression, equalization, blah, blah, blah. Has all that in there. So the 4-track is here, the cassette deck is here, the DAT cassette, the Volca synthesizer is here, the SPD SX drums are here, it's all here. It's all here. This then gets routed out to the audient. This. From the audient, it gets routed out to this. Because this is to the internet, right? This is to the internet. Mm-hmm. This is to your digital device. This one over here are connecting your device, the iPad and whatever. That's all connecting here. This is all being then routed to this digital audio interface, which goes to the internet. But this also then gets routed out to the PA, where it then also gets routed out separate bass, separate guitar. Mm-hmm. So what that means is I could just sit here and play and stream anything and do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not just through the headphones. I can do full live sound, like some real guitar sound, real bass sound, or not. You know, I mean, you could just, however you want to do it. Mm-hmm. The sound capabilities are insane right now. What I can do, and the ability to perform live in a condensed version of this is really, the potential is really insane too. I say potential because what you would do is you would compose a set with all the sound stuff and then just throw it into the SPD-SX. And then this would be your backing tracks, you know, that you could then play to. Oh, something that I didn't show you that is pretty trippy. I think you'll really like this. That loop station.
Yeah.
So, and there's the buttons, controls for the loop station. So, so I have my drums that go through that loop station. So, and my guitar and my bass go through the drums, because in my drums I also have delay, reverb, and all that kind of stuff as well, right? Mm-hmm. The SPD-SX is crazy because it allows you, you know, to just plug guitars in there, vocals in there, and everything, and route them through the drums, which is nuts, right? So yeah. Everything that's coming out of here gets routed into here, and it can be looped at will, willy-nilly. So if I want to loop something from there, I just play it, loop it, boom. I adjust all the volume right here on the control center here, adjust the effect that I want to put onto it and loop it, and then go to something else, add that to it, maybe play some drums to it, add that to it, play some bass, add that to it, get rid of the loop while I'm playing some bass. the audio implications are just awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vastly awesome. Wow.
But this whole thing of being able to get live audio or stream it, that's huge, because usually it's in your ears or you play it live. You usually don't get to choose between those two, and here you can. I got multiple uh, headphone setups, because a lot of times, especially when you're streaming, you want to hear, at least at first, you want to be able to hear like a click track, but you don't want your audience to hear the click track. So this is just the click track headphone that you start off with, then you switch headphones, and so just a whole world of audio funness that you can't do all this without having the energy to put it all together. Really brainiac over it. But there's yeah. I'm hoping that we get our warehouse together sooner than later, so we can just put together a whole dedicated music studio.
Yeah.
Stage studio.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would be really cool is a live, like a media kind of, like, people would be able to come in and they'd be able to skate and do a skate video right there, or they'd be able to play music and do a music video all right there. You know what I mean? Everything.
Yeah.
Or just us.
Just us.
Just us. It's just be us.
Our friends, perhaps.
Yeah. If we have any friends after the envy, so everybody's gotten into, and understandably so, they've gotten into just the doll. Getting into the dolls. Just everything off the computer. But the issue with that is just the whole tactile. You want to be able to play. You want to be able to play. You want to be able to play. Turn knobs. Man, music isn't poking into windows.
Yeah.
Music is banging on stuff and plucking strings. That's what my monkey self says. I want to pluck on the sinew of my prey. I want I want to beat on the hollow skull.
When something's on your mind, I really have to express it like this.
or this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like blowing wind through my old friend's femur.
True story. The first one flutes.
Yeah, old Bob. Yeah, this is Bob.
Oh man.
Yeah, Bob would have gotten a kick out of that. We used to call him Peter Pan when he was alive.
Could he fly?
So
Only
let me see. Yeah, the whole chapters thing. I'm digging. I'm digging that. I think what the way is 5 o'clock working for you the way it's working for me right now.
Yeah.
I guess I like your hair.
I can't be on too much longer because I have some stuff I got.
No, this is it. We're done, man. You put in your time, man. You'd stamp the clock right now. Now you're smoking cigarettes after the job at this point.
Gosh.
You're having some light beer and smoking a cigarette right now.
This timing worked out for me. Does it work out for you well?
Yeah. I think it is. I think so. I'll kind of put the word out that the new Outside Freak Show is now 5 o'clock on Sundays and whatnot. And if a day works out better for you, then we could talk about that. But Sunday, so far, so good. You know.
Okay.
Um,
What are you gonna or when is that gig that you were offered?
that's like whenever I want to do it, and it's sort of not high up on the
Uh,
priority list right now. What's really high on the priority list is tomorrow I get those chords, and those dang 4 tracks are going. The way the system I have is there's a few places that any given recording is going. They all have to go into the trash. The actual cassette use have not the trash, but it's going to where it's not going to be warehouse anymore. And the audio will rather get streamed or it will get archived as for digital purposes to be used later. Um, yeah, I think that's it. That's it. It's not a big list. Um, yeah, it's rather going to get streamed because again, I'm going to use the live stream as an audio dump for all these tapes, which should be pretty interesting listening, you know. And
yeah.
I'm doing it in the gauze or guys. Hi guys. Doing it in the guise of oh, I'm so glad I went there. I'm doing it in the guise of Integrity Radio. So the Integrity Radio show, for all intents and purposes, will be me doing an audio data dump through the streams. Pretty clever. So
Pretty clever.
yeah. And then if I really I'm like, wow, these are still good tracks. Then I'm gonna do a digital backup of those, and then they'll go up on the cloud and be available for use. Um, and and then a lot of the stuff is spurring me to like use it. So I think we talked about this before, but the way this is all set up, if I'm digging, like I'm hearing something from 1977, I'm like, oh, I always wanted to play along with that, because I'm doing that. I hear that a lot, right? I could just bust out whatever instrument I wanted to play along with it and just jam along with it as it's getting streamed. And it's not like this big process. It's just boom,
Yeah.
already go, already do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is very exciting, and I'm really stoked to have gotten to this place in order to do it. The whole trick now is to keep the energy levels up in order to accomplish the goal. So that's the trick, and amongst 100-degree weather, because we got the 100-degree weather now. So already. Before I end this, I just wanted to talk about this. I know I've been forcing this conversation, and then once I force the conversation, I end the stream. So let me do that again. And that is this. Have you seen Elon Musk's estranged daughter?
No, I haven't.
Well, you should check her out because she's like a model, and she's like, I don't want to, sound like a pig here, but she's hot. Um, but there's a catch. She's a he, or was a he.
Oh. Yeah, I think it'd be fun to. Well, I mean,
And
Tyler
she's a hot model type. She looks like a model.
Yeah. Good for Herm. Good for Herm.
Him. Her.
Herm.
Her. Her. As in hermaphrodite. I know what you're doing there. Here's the thing.
No, I mean, you know.
Okay.
I mean, Thailand was already there, man. They got ladyboys. You know, it's not new to them.
Yeah, I know. Being
like
Asian, this is all old stuff
right,
for us with the Mahus and the Thai
yeah,
the boys.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, how much time did each of us do as a girl in our teenage years? You know, what you did? Anyway, no, forget that. There's a website or some a trans called ContraPoint, and there's a particular video. I think it's called Judgment or no. Geez. Anyway, the trans are taking over. This is the issue. This is the thing that I want to kind of bring up regarding the trans thing. I mean, Elon Musk's daughter, used to be son, is hot. Anyway, no, I'm not. I don't know. I don't know where. See, I think that's why we always end this, because we don't know where to go with this. Where do you go with something like that? You know, I mean, like, let's just put it this way. If you or I went on a date, right? Just a hold hand, kind of kiss on the cheek kind of date with Elon's daughter, not us, Elon's daughter. And we went out on a date with her. You know how many chicks we would get like after that? Like, we go to the club next week and they're like, "Weren't you the one with that model?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I was." You're walking a little funny, but yeah, I was. I don't know. All I know is that's smart, because here's the thing. This is why okay, we can end it here. We've come to a place with this. I use we liberally once again. America is so superficial that this is why a good amount of them are so transphobic, because they're like, "But you look so much better than my wife. My wife is a dog compared to you," you know? And in our American brains, we're like, "Oh my God, no, I gotta," I mean, it just confuses us so much, because, like, they look better. We're so superficial. And these guys, now women, who are doing women better than women, like Elon's daughter. What I really dug about her was her personality. I mean, she had an amazing personality, but of course, trans is going to have the best personality because she knows. She knows. Women pretend to know. but they don't know. And you realize that they don't know once you get to know them. You go, oh, you don't actually know. But a trans does know. You know what I'm saying? Like a trans knows. And so the trans is doing women better than women are doing women in the light of superficial American men. Does this make sense?
Yeah, it does. Weird.
But I think that's why it's so, because men have been pretending to be women for ages, since the beginning, the dawn of time, right? Since Monty Python, right? So for us Americans to be so crazy about it in 2025, the year 2025, there's a population of people in America that are crazy about the whole trans thing. And I think it has to do with being so damn superficial that they're afraid that they're going to fall for it. You go, I'm going to court you. We're not going to have hole in the sheet sex until I've spent at least $400-500 in drinks on you.
4 or 5.
Yeah, and you're going to be my pretty little angel, my pretty little angel eyes. Yeah. Here's the thing. I think they should. You know what? Get rid of your ugly biological wife, female wife, and pick yourself up one of those upgrades. Get a tranny that knows what you really want and how you feel. More importantly, how you feel, right? No more of this pretending, right? I mean, a tranny has definitely got to know what a man, right?
Right. Yeah.
Anyway. Anyway, yeah, you have to see Elon Musk. Yeah, go ahead and Google it. Look it up. We're done here. Look it up. Elon Musk's daughter, and then trans, and you'll see what I mean. Most trans, you can tell. Maybe not right off, but when they say, "Oh, I'm trans," and then you go, "Oh, okay, I see that now," right? But I don't see it with this gal, now woman. I don't see it. So I don't know. Maybe it was just that particular piece of media. Maybe if I see another piece of media, there'll be a 5 o'clock shadow. I'm like, oh, okay. And this real quickly, this also is like, here's the thing. If you met a woman, biological woman, she was everything perfect, sex, intellect, emotion, everything, but the catch was she had a beard. I ask this question to everyone in the household here. Everywhere I go, I ask this question. Would you date her? And very few people. The landlord cop, he said he would. Like, am I right?
The head of the manor.
Yeah. But everybody else, even the women are like, no. I'm like, you don't even get a vote. What the hell?
Yeah.
And the women are like, no, I would never. I'm like, wow, that's pretty superficial. She's perfect and she just has a beard. Like, well, would you shave? I'm like, oh, really? So it's kind of along those lines, like,
Good.
I'm not sure. When trans do trans, do they go all the way? Do you know? Do they like do the full conversion?
I don't know. I think some do and some don't, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah. Because if they do, then it would be kind of like right along the lines of fake boobs, or does it matter if it's a real one or not because everything else is perfect? kind of thing. I mean, it really does create a conundrum for the redneck American. That's all I'm saying. Somebody's got to have some empathy for both sides. Oh my god. All right, bro. Well, listen, man. I'm fine. I'm glad we finally got to do this and nail
Yeah.
down a good time for both of us to do this. Um, I'll send this stuff out as soon as possible. Don't don't be shy. Remind me. I'll probably need you to remind me about the gear. Just go. Gear status. Do it. Just say gear status. That would be a good enough
Your
prompt.
stat,
Yeah, gear status or something like it, just to prompt me to go. Oh fuck yeah, right.
please.
Yeah.
Your stat.
I have to get the boxes. I want to get the boxes. I want to make sure it's all together and good to go. But that's it, man. We're and then might be hopefully doing more over on the at Smother Party channel. So if you miss us here, I'm going to do this right now. If you miss us here, then just go on over to the. There it is. Just go on over to. I put it down in the chats. Just go on over to the at Smother Party channel here on YouTube, and that's the music channel. And most of what I'm doing is music. A lot of what Chad and I do is music. If we're not doing martial arts, we're doing music. That's essentially what our relationship is all about. Just in case some of you weirdos out there talking trans and they're like, oh, okay, it's that kind of it's that kind of live stream. But yeah, we're ideally we would like to stream in and play live at the same time. We don't have the technical access. We have the technical capabilities. Once I send you this stuff, while the technical capabilities, that's just a matter of technical access, which is some money. So maybe sometime between now and then, we'll look into it. Maybe we can do that. If not, doesn't matter. We'll still be able to do as one person stream. You'll still be able to stream with all the audio. You just can't do it with two people unless you pay money. So, but we'll work up to it. I think it's worth it. Here's the thing, and I've always, boy, I'm going way too long. I'm sorry. I've always felt that streaming. That's why I loved Anchor. And I've loved when YouTube started doing this early on, and when Google started doing this early on. I always thought it was the best platform. It's long form, and long form is where you're really going to get anything. True communication happens in long form, not short form. So I've always been a huge proponent of this long form thing. So especially for music, because think about it, you're doing music and you got to have all this. You got tapes, and you got even if you got CDs or if you got digital hard drives. Man, imagine all the music you just stream it. That's badass. That's bad.
Yeah.
So I mean, it has its place. If you want real good fidelity, then you don't stream it. You actually master it and post it, right? Yeah,
Right.
So, but most stuff you don't need to master. Most of it's just for posterity, or it sounds cool, as is. So, All
Mhm.
right, man. Well, I will see you next week, and good luck with the upcoming week and your studies and all of that. No more snow up there, right?
Yeah, it's melting out. Every now and then we get some sort of hailish snow showers, but for the most part, it's melted out.
Pretty
Yeah.
much done now. Yeah, just
Yeah.
in time. January or June 1st, right on time.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this week we actually have some storm systems that might give us some snow up in Crested Butte, but down here in Gunnison, it should stay as rain. So, and it shouldn't freeze either because it's not below 32. So,
Oh man. Well, stay cool. I'm sure the heat is going to be coming at you soon enough.
yeah, I think the hottest it gets out here in the summertime is like if you're camping in your car out in the high desert in the Hartman Rock area where the sun's just beating down and it's maybe like I think maybe like 80 or something like that, low
Oh, that's not
80s.
bad.
Yeah, because we're like
You're a mile
8,000.
high out there, right?
We're 8,000 feet,
Yeah, yeah.
so we're pretty high.
You
As
get,
long as if you get shade though, the shade just like cuts it down like 20 degrees
I
and then
bet.
you're fine.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
perfect. Yeah, cool, man.
it
Well,
kind of
and then
Hawaii.
hopefully you and I will be doing some streams out in the wild because that is ideally, we don't really, we're both nomads. I think we both share this. We don't necessarily want to be indoors. We kind of just have to be indoors.
Yeah.
So hopefully, we'll sooner than later, you and I, maybe we'll coordinate it. You go, oh, you're going out? Okay, I'll go out too. And then we'll go out and meet each other in respective mountain wilderness areas.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna have a lot of free time opened up after the end of August. That's for sure. So
Cool. Very good, man.
yeah, man.
And of course, if you wanted to head out here, do a road trip out here, you're welcome. Just putting it out there.
All right. Yeah, I'll throw it in. I know for sure I'm gonna go to uh, Hawaii. Go back to the islands in October, end of
Cool.
October. Mom's 70th, so I gotta show face.
Happy birthday, mom. Cool.
Yeah, but
Excellent.
other than that, I could probably try to fit a road trip in somewhere before the end of the
Yeah,
year.
man. We can
We'll
we can
see.
come here, record stuff, go out into the wilderness. We can even record stuff there with my miniature 4-track digital 4-track. So
Yeah.
yeah, we could because last time you were out here, we didn't really get to record. I think we only did like one recording or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Abyssal Blue. Yeah.
yeah. So we if you come out, we'll definitely hit the recording thing hard. And
Oh yeah.
maybe then go hit the recording thing hard, and then go into the woods and shoot the shotgun or something. Show these rednecks that Asians can be a redneck too. We'll go buy some red hats.
Oh no.
All right, man. Well, if I don't see you before then, I'll probably see you Friday. Yeah, but if I don't see you
Okay.
before then, aloha, bro.
All right.
All right, man. Thanks for joining me, and thanks for joining us. If you haven't done so already, please help us to get to 500 subscribers by doing so down below. Take care, everybody. See you soon.